to another Lawn Fawn video. Today we are so excited to be introducing our brand new die, Let's Celebrate Backdrop. So let's go ahead and check it out. This set comes with the backdrop, of course, and then all of these fun confetti pieces. We have circles and triangles and like little confetti strips. We have little swirlies and loop-de-loos and stars in all different sizes. We also have this large cluster of stars where you can use the outside frame or the inner part as well, and they're really, really fun for adding on different projects. For all of these confetti pieces, you can layer them behind or in front of the backdrop, and we're going to be showing you a couple ways to do that. You can also use the backdrop on its own, meaning you could just die cut it out of pretty colored cardstock, holographic cardstock, pattern paper, and get a really cool look. But another way that's really fun to do it is what we're doing here, which we're adding some liquid glue onto different elements of this fun Celebrate backdrop, and then we're layering on the little die cut pieces that it comes with. So we're going to add on all the little stars over top of the stars that are on this Let's Celebrate backdrop. And I love that all these confetti pieces are really great for layering over top of the Let's Celebrate die, but they're also really, really awesome for just using on different cards. They also make really, really great shaker pieces too, which is really awesome. For the next confetti pieces, we're actually going to flip the backdrop over and we're going to layer them behind all of those little openings. So you'll see that there's circular openings, triangle openings, and then those little kind of confetti strips. So we're going to add some liquid glue to each of those frames, and then we're going to layer the little pieces behind, and you'll see that they're sized perfectly to layer behind. You can also layer them in front for a different look, and we'll show you that in just a little bit when we create a card with this fun backdrop. So you'll see we're adding liquid glue and then just layering each of the pieces. You can have a lot of fun with different colored cardstock, pattern papers. You could even use white cardstock for everything and use your markers to add color to things. So you can have a lot of fun with this backdrop die. One of my favorite ideas that I want to try next is to watercolor a whole piece of cardstock and then die cut this backdrop so that it has pretty watercolor all over it. So we're adding our last few little triangles, and you'll see when we flip it over, all of those little openings have been filled in with the die cuts, and this is such a fun way to add color to the Let's Celebrate backdrop. The other thing that you can do is take these little loopy-loos and little swirly confetti pieces, and you can tuck them in to have even more of a confetti look on this backdrop, and that's a really, really fun way to use it too. You could also layer the stars on the inside and then maybe die cut a sentiment or heat emboss a sentiment and layer it over top, and your card would be all done. I love these stars, and I love how many different sizes there are. I know I'm going to be using them on Let's Celebrate backdrop cards and on lots of other cards too. Now, we wanted to add a little bit of color behind this backdrop because it's really going to help the pieces pop. So we're going to layer this onto a piece of cilantro cardstock, and now you can really see the fun details of the die. And by adding that colorful base to it, when you add these little loopy-loos and swirlies in, they really pop as well. It's just so much fun to play with color with this die, and this backdrop can be a nice frame for a big, bold die-cut sentiment. It could be a frame for a cute birthday scene or even a Happy New Year card. There's so many fun and cool things you can do with it. And of course, layering all these pieces are fun, but you can also do something like die-cut it from pattern paper. We use some really rainbow paper here, and that adds all of the color and the decoration for you. I think this die would also be incredible die cut out of holographic cardstock. So I love that you can layer your pieces or you can add your color with pattern paper. So let's start making a card with this cute die. So for this card, we're going to start off by cutting the backdrop die out of some white cardstock, and we're also going to die cut some of the elements from white cardstock. So we're going to be cutting some of the little triangles and also some of the stars. Now, to add color to these, I'm going to be using my Copic marker. So I'm using 3 different shades of yellow here, and I'm going to put a little bit of dark marker on the outside, blend it out with the medium, and then go lightest towards the center. You could also use 2 markers too, but I was just having fun coloring. And what I like to do is add a little bit of the dark marker to a bunch of stars, and then I go through with the medium and then through the light, and it actually goes by really quickly that way, and it's just really fun. Like I feel like I'm in a little coloring assembly line. Then I'm going to repeat the same idea with the triangles, and this time I'm going to be starting with some blue markers. So once again, I'll have my dark marker, medium marker, light marker, and I'm adding a little bit of the dark marker to a bunch of the triangles and then blending each out with the medium and then each out with the light so that I can add color to a lot of these really quickly. And this is a really fun way to get a super dynamic look on these little die cuts. You could also cut them from pattern paper, which would be really fun, or even colored cardstock and add a little bit of inking to the edge of them to add that fun little gradient. Next, I thought it would be fun to make these confetti pieces sparkly. So I'm using a quickie glue pen, drawing a line of glue on one of the edges of the triangle, and then I'm dipping it into a little Tupperware container filled with Prisma glitter. The quickie glue pen is almost like a ballpoint pen with glue. It just puts out the teeniest, tiniest amount of glue, which is perfect for adding glitter to. And this is a fun technique that Jen Shirkus loves to do, and we do this a lot in our Create With Us classes. And it's just so much fun. I love doing this. It's a really quick and easy way to add the glitter. So I just pick up each little piece with the tweezers. I put a little bit of glue just on the edge of the star, and then I dip it in that Prisma glitter to add the glitter, and it adds the perfect subtle amount of sparkle and shine. Next, I'm going to put my glittery confetti aside, and I'm just going to add the most subtle amount of shading to the backdrop. I thought that there was some shading on the confetti pieces. It might be nice for there to be a little bit on these pieces. So I'm using a really light gray marker, and I'm literally just kind of scribbling over these pieces, tracing them. This just took me a couple of minutes, and it looks really cool. It kind of gives a fun shadow effect to all of the pieces. Then what I did was I just took my colorless blender and then kind of just scribbled over my other scribbles to just blend it out and make it look nice and finished. Next, we're going to take out some blue Jay cardstock, and we'll be die cutting this with the largest of the stitched rectangle frames. And the stitched rectangle frame is a perfect match to the Let's Celebrate backdrop. So it's a really fun way to add more color to the Celebrate backdrop and give it this really cool frame. I love that these two can coordinate together. I think it's so awesome. So now we're going to take that Let's Celebrate backdrop and layer it underneath our blue Jay frame, and that's looking so nice. Now we're going to create a really fun base for this whole backdrop. We're going to be die cutting our simple stripes backdrop within the portrait style, and we're going to die cut this out of some white cardstock and also out of some chili pepper cardstock. And what we're going to do is alternate these colors to create a really fun red and white striped pattern. We're going to add some tape runner to the whole card base, and then we can start to layer the pieces on. And I just love these simple stripes backdrops. We have them in portrait, landscape, and also diagonal, and they just make the most fun, bold backgrounds. Today we are also recreating a beautiful card by Megan, so thank you, Megan, so much for this amazing card. So now we're going to bring back our Let's Celebrate backdrop, and we're just going to add some tape runner all around the edges of the backdrop, and then we can layer them over top of this great red and white stripe. And this is looking absolutely incredible. I just love all of these colors together. It's really perfect for 4th of July that's just around the corner. So here we're going to go ahead and start die cutting some more elements. So we already have our confetti that we added glitter to and added marker to, but we're also going to die cut that same red cardstock that's in the stripes, and we're going to die cut some of those little circles. And this is going to help bring that color red into kind of the front part of the card here. So all we need to do is just use our glue tube to add little drops of liquid glue over top these different sections, and we can start to layer on the pieces. So here you can see as you layer on the star, how beautiful does that look? Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. There's something about that little gradient and then the glitter on all of these pieces that really make them pop off of this bold background. For the triangle pieces, we're just layering drops of glue in the little holes of the different triangles and then layering the different size triangles over top. So earlier in the video, we layered the triangle pieces behind, and it was more like a fill-in for the frame. And you can see what a different look you get when you layer the pieces over top. So I love that you can get two totally different looks depending on if you layer them behind or in front, or if you don't layer any pieces at all, that's a different look too. So you can do anything that's perfect for your card design. Now we're going to layer the little red circles on there, and I love how it brings the red cardstock from the background also to the front kind of Let's Celebrate backdrop idea. And next up, we are going to be putting a bold greeting in the center. So we're going to be using our giant hooray die, and we're going to be die cutting some of this twinkling navy paper. We're going to die cut the B side of that actually, and then we're also going to die cut some more of that blue jay cardstock to bring that into the rest of the design as well. So all we're going to do is create a fun little shadow. So we're going to add some tape runner to the hooray that's been cut from the star paper, and then we're going to layer that, shifting it over to the right just a little bit to give it a fun shadow, and that's going to help it pop on this fun stripe background. We'll also do that for the dot of the exclamation point too. Then we can add some tape runner to the back of that and layer it into the center of the card. And I think the Let's Celebrate backdrop is just a fun way to frame a bold greeting like this. It looks really great with our brand new giant Make-A-Wish die too. I just think that looks so much fun. So we're going to layer on the little dot of the eye, and then now we're going to start adding some more confetti pieces all around the hooray and also overlapping the words of the hooray too. And it makes it feel like maybe someone threw confetti up in the air and it's kind of landing everywhere. It's so fun and so cute. Then we'll add our last little piece of confetti, and for a final finishing touch, we're going to take a white gel pen and just add little curved lines to each of those little red circles that we added. And you'll see that it just really makes them pop on the background. I love that just by adding one little curved white line, it makes things look three-dimensional. I think it looks absolutely incredible. Then our very last step is to take a standard size card base that's 5.5 by 4.25. We'll add some tape runner to that, and then we can just layer our whole piece over top, and our card is all done. This card is so sweet and happy. I love it so much. I love that the Let's Celebrate backdrop is such a great frame for big giant words, and I love that this card is a completely die cut card. Now, the other thing that this Let's Celebrate backdrop is really great for is to frame cute little stamp scenes. And Shari is going to show us an adorable card with that right now. So take it away, Shari.
So I'm using the Let's Celebrate backdrop to create a fun birthday card today, and I thought it would be great to cut this backdrop out of some rainbow paper so that we have all these colors around that outside border. So I'm going to snug that up to that corner so I get all the way from the purple to the red. I've also cut some spiffy speckles blue and green cardstock. That's going to be my sky and my grass because I am putting some dogs and the doghouse in my little frame. I'm just lining up the simple stitch hillside border so I can cut the top of my grassy hill, and I'm just checking to make sure that that doghouse fits in there perfectly between the top of the hill and the frame. And then here are the images I'm using on my card. I've already colored and cut them out. They are all from the Yappy birthday stamp set. I'm putting some adhesive on the back of that blue spiffy speckles paper and putting that onto a card base. And then I will do the same with the green. And I'll just layer this right along that bottom. Now before I glue down my fun Let's Celebrate frame, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. So I'm using the sentiment that says Yappy Birthday. And I'm just lining that up towards the bottom so I have enough space for my dogs to be above it. And I'm just stamping that in some black ink. Now I do wish I had put some double-sided adhesive on the back of this rainbow paper before I cut this really intricate die, but I did not, so I'm using some spray adhesive to adhere this down. You could also use little dots of glue, but I just thought I would give this a try and see how well it worked. It worked pretty well. I did have some sticky on the front, but I just took care of that with my anti-static powder tool, much like we do when we make shaker cards and we want to cover up the sticky residue that's left. So I'm just lining that up and pressing that down. I've already gotten rid of the sticky. I just kind of did that off camera. And now I can add my cute little doghouse, which I just think is adorable. I love the little pennants on this doghouse. And then for my pups on each side, I've already put their party hats on, and I'm just adding some foam adhesive to the back of each of them so that they are popped up and have some dimension from that doghouse in the background. I'll also do the same thing for that cute little dog bowl that has the piece of cake inside. Now this is very cute just as it is, but I thought it would be fun to add a little extra to this backdrop. And there are all these pieces on the inside that you get some confetti and some swirly things, but there's also stars. So I cut all those stars from some gold sparkle cardstock. There are 3 sizes of stars that the die will cut out. And then I'm going to go around and put little dots of glue on the stars that the backdrop cut and add these stars right on top. So I'm adding those big stars where I have big stars, Then I'm moving on to these little teeny tiny stars. So you can see that the stars in the backdrop have all 3 sizes as well, and you can kind of use that as a guide, and you kind of get a perfectly spaced sprinkling of gold stars all around the border. And for this one right here, I decided I wanted to do a big one, even though it is a little one, just because there's not a lot of stuff down at the bottom. Finally, I've pulled out my stickles. I'm adding some stickles to the banners on the doghouse, the tops of the party hats, and the little paw print on the doghouse as well. Of course, also the flame on the candle on the cake. And here is my finished card. I think it's so cute, and that pattern paper is perfect to cut this backdrop from.
This card is so cute and happy, Shari. I love your awesome little yappy birthday scene inside of the fun rainbow Let's Celebrate backdrop. It looks like the perfect party. And next up, we have some incredible cards by the design team. And first up, we have this beautiful card by Elena. She used some of our brand new Woodland Critter Hugger summer accessories for that cute little bear to make the sweetest card. I love all the confetti in the background and her cool shaker. Tammy used the backdrop to frame an adorable yappy birthday scene. I love that pink ink blending behind the white backdrop. It's gorgeous. This card by Callie is so sweet. I love the whole rainbow look and her bold greeting in the center. And then here, Audrey created another beautiful card using the brand new Giant Make-A-Wish. I love the gradient background and the balloons she added. This card by Rebecca is so sweet and features our brand new Possum Birthday Mini stamp set. That little guy in the present is too cute. This card by Elise is amazing. She used watercolor to paint all of the individual little confetti, and I love that look. And then here is the card by Megan that inspired us to make ours. It is so much fun. I love that giant hooray in the center. This card by Maureen is so pretty. I love the pastel background and how she used our brand new confetti background hot foil plate for behind her giant Make-A-Wish. I love Lynette's mixture of die cut and stamp sentiments and the fun colors that she used for this card. I love the idea of using the colors from someone's sports team to make them a congratulations card. I absolutely love Kara's incredible color that she added to this backdrop, and I love how she used the washi tape along with the stamped octopus in the sweet, super cute card. Letitia's colors make me ready for summertime. I love the white Let's Celebrate backdrop on that bright green paper. It is so pretty. So we cannot wait to see what you guys create with this new backdrop die, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and we hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!